Alright, so I have both of my cats, and I'm just gonna tidy up the seams, cut off the little top thing, and maybe plug up some air holes. I finished smoothing out the edges. Now I'm going to use a little bit of Sculpey to plug all the little air bubbles and maybe patch up the large air bubble on my hand here. I have my little figure, I baked it. I'm going to do wings and a tail. I'll be using the epoxy sculpt to anchor the wires in here and some aluminum foil for the wings support membrane part. I'm going to be wearing gloves since my hands have been dried out enough from the Sculpey oven baked clay adhesive and the actual Sculpey clay. And epoxy sculpt does have a warning on it for skin irritation, so better safe than sorry. I have my armature wire open. I'm gonna measure out what I think I need for the wings and the tail. Cut them with some wire trimmers. My craft scissors are dulled enough they don't need to cut wire. So the epoxy has cured overnight. Seems very sturdy. I'm going to position the wires how I want them for the wings and the tail, and then bulk it up with aluminum foil and then put the Sculpey on top. my wings and tail smoothed out and the bases chunked in. I think I'm going to bake it like this just to set these shapes because they are kind of flimsy. Baking it should help. Not quite sure. I might just stand it up to bake it. Hopefully that's okay. The wings are a little wobbly, so I'll need to reinforce them a little bit here. Mostly this side. There's a few bits where the tinfoil is showing through, but once I detail the wings, that will be able to be easily covered up, so not too worried about it. I'm going to work on snout next. I think I've figured out the basic shape of the snout I want. I'm gonna throw it in the oven to save this shape. Would have been much nicer to do without the wings and tail. They are kinda in the way, which is unfortunate. Taking a break from sculpting, I'm gonna make a couple of the different sizes of eyes just to see what would look best. Gloves with resin are important. So I'm gonna make one of each kind to get an idea of what size I want. So it says 2 to 4 minutes. It also says cure less than 5mm thickness each time. So some of these are a little too thick. I'm sure it'll be fine. So I think they're fully cured. Pop them out. Still a little warm. Big one looks like there's some flaws in the mold because it didn't come out fully smooth. Could also be the thickness. Definitely think that the big one is stupid. Don't think the hexagon is good either. Probably the medium size dome. Maybe the small one. Oh no, we don't know now. Definitely between the small, tiny one and the medium-sized domes. I'll have to make a couple eyes and see. That means I should leave the head for after I've made eyes, so I can sculpt the details around where the eyes will go. So I guess I should focus on touching up the wings and maybe the tail. I have done some detailing on the wings. I think I'm gonna bake it now because I just keep squishing stuff, mostly the little spike part that goes from the joint to like the corner of bottom of the wings, whatever these are called. I keep kind of squishing them. I'm going to bake it. This wing is very brittle here, so I've reinforced it, and another reason I want to bake it is because I keep pushing on it and breaking the reinforcement, so I need to at least bake it just for that reinforcement part. This wing isn't bad here, so I didn't reinforce that area as it doesn't seem to need it. There's the wing detailing to this point. I'm going to paint an eye and make another eye in a different way just to see that will work. I have my paints and the alcohol ink and my UV resin and a tiny little water dish and paintbrush, just so the dome doesn't move. And I'm going to go for bino looking eye, red pupils and red irises. So I'm going to try that and see how that goes. Well, my idea for doing a second style of eye, go in with a little bit of paint into the resin, my pointy tool, to very carefully stir in. If this doesn't work, I think I'll try some colorant. Yeah, I think this is too opaque. That is definitely too opaque for what I want. I have some red UV resin that's, pre-made. I'm gonna try some of this. I think it'll give me the effect I want. So I'm gonna make 2 of them. Little black flecks in here for some reason. Being very careful not to get this on my skin since I'm not wearing gloves. Should definitely be wearing gloves. Still a little warm. A red color all throughout. Definitely more what I'm going for. Oh no, this one did end up with a bubble. So this stuff, this rainbow alcohol ink, stinks. Because alcohol ink stinks. I'm gonna use my pointy tool to stick a hole in the top. Oh, got it. It smells so bad. Okay. Put the lid back on. Shake it a little more. I'm gonna put a drop here, 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 and nothing is level, so it's going all over the place. I'm gonna try to level it out. Gonna spread it around on all of them. I probably should have put the dot, which will be the pupil, on before the alcohol ink. And then just paint the back of this one fully. I'll let these 3 dry, but it almost looks like what I want it to. This one has the big bubble in it. I think, oops, cover these, the back of those in red. Yeah, this one isn't half bad either. Oh, I got some alcohol ink on that side here. Oopsies. Okay. Paint back fully red. I think I'll make a few different options. Can't really tell the difference on here. I believe I put the rainbow ink on 4, so I think I'll try a few different types without the rainbow ink and then with it. So this was just the clear dome with a red pupil, alcohol ink, and then a red back. But yeah, it's kind of hard to tell from further away. Yeah, so I'm gonna make a couple more different style of eyes, and then once I pick out which ones I want, I'll be able to go back to sculpting. Get some detail on the head, because I'll know where to put the eyes. As you can see, I've done a little bit more detailing. I've done some belly scales, and in between the legs and down the tail a little bit. I'll probably try to continue this, although doing it in between where the tail curls on itself, it's probably going to be a bit of a challenge. I also did a little bit of end of the wings Just making sure the tin foil that's in there is sandwiched nicely and doesn't show through. I've tried out a few different options for eyes. I've made little domes and then inserted them into the resin before curing it to give more of a 3D pupil effect within the eye. You see how the red pupil kind of domes out and isn't just flat like this one. Some of these have clear resin, and then some are red translucent UV resin. Some with the little domes on the inside turned out with some air bubbles, which, while annoying, may actually be a little bit better than some of the ones that didn't. These ones are way too big. I'm probably not going to use. These ones had quite a bit of bubbles, and I think these ones were just flat. Not quite the best. I did some with some green pupils just to see if I like that, and I don't, so I'm not going to use those. These ones I didn't fill the dome up completely, so they're a little more shallow, but they have so many air bubbles that I don't know if I'm going to end up using them. I'm trying to keep them in the pairs because you can kind of tell that some are very, very similar. These three are all very, very similar. Yeah, so these two have domes inside, and this one I don't think does. Or it had like clear domes on the inside. I'm not really sure. I might go with these eyes even though they have 2 air bubbles in this one and 1 in this one. Kind of look the most of what I was going for. A little lighter iris and a darker red pupil. I might go with these ones because these ones look cute too. I don't know. Yeah, for now, it's between these 3. We'll see if I end up trying to make more. That's all the current changes. Trying to do some sculpting without recording. I think I'm gonna keep going on the tail here, see how far I can go before it gets too difficult to do this style of belly scales is what I'm calling it. Reminiscent of like a snake's belly, because their scales on their belly are different than the ones on their heads and the rest of the body. I'm not sure if I'll do any scale detailing on the wings. I might just leave them bland, possibly paint details later. So that's how my dragon is going so far.